Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel.
And I'm Jordan Schoenberger.
And now I'm wondering if anyone's even here seeing it, because I am suspecting something, but I'm going to check it out before I say anything. If you're there, if you just wave at us and say hi.
Hi.
Aha. It's unlisted. Let's make this public.
Oh, see, I thought it was my fault. They saw
Alrighty,
my
folks.
name, they're like, mm-mm.
Well, a few of you are probably going to show up a little bit later. So for those watching for the first time, welcome. This is 5 More Great Games. And this is a series in which we talk about my games on my top 100 to 350, and this is somewhere in the 120s, I think. And so we're just talking about these games, and I bring on people, and I bring on Jordan. Jordan, tell people a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jordan Schoenberger. I am a person who does board game videos on Board Game Breakfast. Primarily, I'm on Instagram, where I do a series of quickly reviews that have video and photos and text on them. I live in Pittsburgh with my wife and children and dog and cat, and I'm currently in my basement.
You live in the other half of Pennsylvania. When people ask me about Pittsburgh, I mention I never even been in Pittsburgh. I lived in Pennsylvania my whole life, and east and west do nary across. It seems that way.
It's true. I went to Penn State, which is right in the middle, and that's kind of where everybody comes. But then after school, you separate out. You don't need to keep mixing.
Alrighty, well, here we are, folks. I'm talking about 5 great games. These are games that I feel today I'm going to get some people saying that should have been in your top 100, but there's only so much space. And I know Jordan's played at least one of them. And I'm going to guess how many. Hopefully I'll do better than I did last week, because last week I was terrible at guessing. So I know you've played at least one. He could have possibly played all 5. We'll see. So let's get started here. And, we'll get started here once I can find where my scene changes. I am so on the ball today. There we go. All right, folks, we're looking here at the first one, Carson City. So Carson City came out in 2009. It is a worker placement game from Quinted Games. Just recently, the Carson City Big Box came out. If you get the game, this is the version you want to get, because it not only has the base game, has a bunch of expansions in, including a variable setup, which I think is really well done. This is a cowboy-themed game. Now, this would help if I knew when, Jordan, when you started getting into gaming. You know, one of these days will be hilarious if I'm going through these pictures and I see the person I'm talking to playing the game. But I'm going to go with the fact that you have not played this one.
That is correct. However, I will say I started playing games in 2009, so I do remember researching this when it came out.
Well, also there was the reprint in 2015, so there's that. Yeah, this is one do you like worker placement?
I do.
Do you like a bit of aggression?
It depends. Sometimes, but not often. I think that may have been what turned me away from it at the beginning, leaning towards other games.
Yeah, because in this game you can build a bank and then other players can go rob the bank. We can both go for the same space on the board, but there's special abilities. Man, this is a fantastic game. I want to play this one. All right, let's jump to my next one here, Wavelength. Wavelength, a party game. It is a team game, team versus team, and in this you get a couple of 2 edges of an extreme, whether it's hot and cold or fun or not fun, and you have this dial that's going to be put somewhere randomly between those 2 extremes, and you have to come up with a word that picks that. Now this one I feel very confident that even if you haven't played this in person, over the past year or 2, a lot of people have been playing this on Zoom, so I'm going to say you have played this one.
I have, and I've played it on Zoom, so that is how I have played it.
This works really well on Zoom, actually.
It does. I've never seen it in person, though. Like, I've been to game stores and stuff, and I've just never seen it, so I don't. Was it hard to find, or was it out there and I just missed it?
I don't know. I think, wasn't it? It was a Kickstarter. So the problem with the Kickstarter is they send it out to the backers first, and then it goes out to everybody else. But man, this one I've had such great success. But people who do not play board games much at all really like this one here. And yeah, I like the concept of this one. So then and as you mentioned, it's playable on Zoom. So that's kind of a cool thing.
It is, yeah. You just need one copy of it, and everybody else can just kind of play along.
Alrighty, I'm 2 for 2. I'm better than last week already. All right, Watergate. So Watergate, which is based on the Watergate scandal from Richard Nixon's administration, but barely has any political ties to it beyond that. I mean, it's there, but it's a two-player asymmetrical game in which one person's the photographer trying to catch Nixon, and the other person's being Nixon, trying not to have the evidence attached to him. But it's a back-and-forth tug-of-war, two-player game. So even if you're not a big fan of the theme, I think you might like the game. It feels like a very, 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 very small Twilight Struggle. Yes, you've played it.
I have. I love Watergate. I think it's fantastic. I agree.
All right, I'm already feeling happy now. I got 3 for 3 here.
You're good. You're good. I love Watergate. It was one of those games that I was taught poorly, and I really did not like it. But I knew there was a good game there, so I tried it a couple more times. And once I learned the error of our ways, we were on all cylinders at that point, just clicking along.
Yeah, it plays pretty quickly. And even though I say it's asymmetrical, I don't know that how asymmetrical does it feel to you? Like, when you switch sides, do you feel like you play that differently? Well, I guess you do, because one person's trying to outguess the other person.
I would say the cards are similar, but the objectives are different. So like the cards are going to have similar actions on them, but are themed differently. But then what you're trying to do on the board is different. So I don't know if it's as kind of radically different as it might be made out to be, but it feels different to me.
I think if you like history, you'll like this, and if you don't like history, I still think you might like this. I really think this is one of the best two-player games that exists.
Yeah. Yeah. I had played 1960, and it felt like a streamed, more condensed version of something like that.
Yes, it really does, and so I like it for that. That's some of the reasons I like it. Alrighty, the next one is probably the most played game on this list, and that is Point Salad. Point Salad, which I remember distinctly in 2019 we had at a Dice Tower convention, and that was a really weird picture of a pig there. And you're collecting different vegetable cards or ways to score those vegetable cards. It's really simple. It's a really great drafting game. I don't know that I could recommend this one higher. Next time I do one of my lists where I say games everybody should own, I really would not be surprised if this game shows up in that. And I think you have played this one.
Yeah, I love Point Salad. It's so good. I learned it from on the Dice Tower cruise right before the pregame on the cruise last or whenever that cruise was last year.
It was last year. That does feel like several years ago at this point in time.
It really does.
Yeah, that's right. I had this at the pregame cruise, didn't I? I had all my little card games there.
Yeah, it was in your little photo boxes. No, it's fantastic. It's so cool, like how it has front and back cards, but all the backs are different. It's not, usually there's going to be different information on one side of the card, where like multi-use cards, but they actually use the front and the backs, which is really cool.
I'm actually surprised AEG hasn't run this into the ground and made Fruit Salad, which is the same thing, but with fruit and different things. And, I don't know. It just seems like the kind of game they could have rethemed pretty easily.
I think so.
I'd like to apologize if you're in chat and seeing my employee's humor. And I'm using that real loosely here. So I'm not even repeating it out loud because I don't want to offend the delicate ears of my viewers. All right, let's jump to the final game today. And we have Architects of the West Kingdom. And this is the one I feel like I'll get garbage that it's not in my top 100. I think it's a fantastic game, as I think all these games are that I'm talking about. But got knocked out a little bit. It's ranked 78 here on Board Game Geek, which is pretty high in the top 100. It's a unique worker placement game, especially in regards to the fact that it is a game that you are putting workers out, and the more workers out, the better off you are, and then pulling them off the board by capturing other people's workers. This one is so popular, and so many people have played it. I would imagine you must have played this one, Jordan.
I have. I've only played it once though. I played it online, actually with
That counts.
Randy and Ellen Kirby. We played it on Tabletopia. Yeah, there is video evidence that this happened.
So what'd you think of your one play of it?
I thought it was fine.
That's not a ringing endorsement, but I'm going to argue that some worker placement games do not feel as good when you are not actually picking up the workers and putting them in the spot and collecting the resources.
I definitely felt the disconnect with. I generally don't like to play games online, but I could definitely. It's not quite. You can't quite see like all parts of the board or all the spots at any given time. It can be tough. So, I mean, I know how to play it now, so getting it, played in person will be a lot easier. But, I thought it was fine. I'd play it again. But
that's right. I smell it. I smell in-person gaming coming back. But yeah, this is one, I think, of all the games in the West Kingdom series, because there's all three are out now, I think this will be the most popular. Paladins may be ranked higher than this one, but this was the easiest one to play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little poll here for people in the comments who are watching. You can now vote on your favorite. And then, so I'm going to give you all a bit to do that, and Jordan is going to guess which one of these he thinks that the people will pick the most. While we're waiting for people to do that, Jordan, where would people find you if they were looking for you on the internet?
Well, there's certain parts of the internet that are better to find me than others. I would suggest Instagram being the primary way to find me, at Jordan Plays Blue. No spaces, all one word. I also am active in the Dice Tower Facebook group. You can see me. I'm there under Jordan Schoenberger, which is my name. And then I also have a YouTube channel and TikTok, because that's where the youths are nowadays.
Are they?
Under Jordan Plays Blue. Tom, are you on the TikTok?
I am not.
Yeah.
Most of my experience with TikTok is saying, turn that stupid video off to my children. I'm sure there are many good things on TikTok, but my experience with it has been quite low. And if you're on TikTok, and I'm sure it's amazing and everything, I'm just an old fuddy-duddy, apparently.
Oh, I don't know if anybody claims it's amazing. It's a way to pass time.
Alrighty. Well, I'm assuming at this point in time, I've given people enough time to vote. What do you think won here? We don't have a ton of people watching.
Man. So, I know what my favorites would be, but I'm going to say Architects as the top. I'm going to say Architects, then Point Salad, then we'll go reverse order. Carson City last. We'll just
I agree. That sounds right. Let's see. Points out Architects, Wavelength, Watergate, Carson City. Man, that's a perfect score. That's also a really low amount of votes.
Yeah, that's...
But hey, it worked. And that's just, again, because of us messing up here at the beginning. But no worries. Folks, if you're watching this later, I hope you enjoy these. These are just short videos that we put out each week. There will be a small break because next Tuesday we'll be in the middle of the Dice Tower Spring Spectacular. And then the week after that, we'll be taking a few days of rest. And then the week after that, we'll be back. Jordan, thanks so much for joining me. Folks, check out his stuff on the TikToks and everywhere else. And you see him often on Breakfast. And hopefully we can all get together soon, everybody, and play these games in person. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Jordan Schoenberger.
And you've been watching 5 more great games.